I just thought I'd do a little YouTube video. I haven't done one for some time, and tell you what's going on in the shed lately. It's very slow progress. I have 3 kids. I don't have a lot of money. Everything I've done in here has been on a budget. Things from presents for birthdays and such like. The shed is now over a year old, and there's no sign of any problems with damp or heat, and in actual fact it's -1 outside, and I have this little heater which is heating the whole shed perfectly, and it does cut off, it doesn't keep running, so my insulation that I did has been perfect over the years. Right, now where are we going with this shed? So at the moment I've just created the hill, climb up to the second layer, which you can see here. There's a point. I've done it a single track along here because it was taking up a lot of room here if I did a double one, and I felt that it'd make life a bit more interesting if I only have a single, so I put a point in there and we go double here, and that will go round here, which will give me enough room to store a train if one's coming the other way. And then this is work in progress, will be the next expense, buying these few bits of track. And I'm going to create a lift out bridge here, which will then have a little shelf up here where it will, when I'm not using it, will go up, and then I will just bring it down and place it on this thing as a form of bridge. If we go around here, which I've just started laying the track, which I can do at the moment, it will be a double loop all the way round, circuit along here, and it will continue obviously. Now I'm not going to do too much on the upper layer, mainly because it becomes too fiddly. I don't want too many points and stuff on the upper layer. Where I'm going with this is all this other area that's left, I'm going to create a station scene with some more hilly bits up this end. But the station scene is going to be on a form of, part of it is going to be a disused branch line, which I will probably have a little railway yard at this end, obviously bending round. I hope to have a little turntable. The idea is that the main railway is going to be set in modern times, but it's going to give me the ability to have like a conservation railway line, where some of the steam engines are still being looked after and maintained, you know, similar to Blue Bell line and stuff like that. And that's really my idea. That's what's going on in my head, and hopefully we're going to try and make a little video here. It will jump. I'm going to try and edit it on a new editing system that I've been advised, and we'll see where we go. But today what we're going to do is probably lay a bit more track. So over in this corner we have some curved track just here. As you can see, the problem with the flexible track is it leaves little ends like this. So what I found my favourite way of doing it is just using a little circular disc cutter on my Dremel, and I find this far better than anything else, to tell the truth. I tried using them train track cutters, but I found even when using them, I find it sometimes burred the track over, and then I can get the little fish plates on. So I use a little Dremel just to make it equal. There we go. Job done. So the first thing I do is, I don't really use a lot of guides. Sometimes it helps, but I just find I put the track where I want it to go, where I can get the best sort of bend and everything. I don't use anything other than my hand just to guide the first bit. You can see I need to cut quite a bit off that. I also need to just remove these, so I will do that now. So from here you can see how much track I need to take off. Will be fine when it all lines up. The next thing I will want to do is I want to put the cables in. So I will, looking along here, I'll choose a bit of track somewhere in the middle, somewhere where there's already cables near around here, I think. I will take that. Alright, this is how quickly my soldering iron turns on. I will turn it on and it will first of all display the heat that it's set at, and that is now heating up. 116, 169, so on. And when that figure stops, the soldering iron is at working temperature. That's it. That is how quick my soldering iron takes to heat up. So we're now here. We're going to look to solder the cable on. I recut a little bit here. And I simply pull back an area, like so. So I'm now going to solder my dropper cables, which I'm just preparing. I cut them at about just over 30 centimetres long, which is about the right distance. You don't want them too long. I read somewhere that you don't want them much over 30 centimetres if you can do it. I mean, I'm sure sometimes you'll have to do a little bit further. That shouldn't make terrible much difference. So there's my dropper cables. We're just using this, my wonderful gadget that I love. Just trim off that mount. There we are. And I'll do the same here with the positive cable. Trim off that amount. Brilliant tool. And I'll just zoom out. These are fantastic. I have them for work, but they're a fabulous tool. Worth every penny. You can get them for about 10-12 quid. So I get my little accessory, my little helpy arms, which I bought from a market stall for £5, and they're brilliant for if you're doing a little bit of soldering and stuff like that. So I just pop that in the moment. Ooh. So I get my solder. There we go, my solder. Now I get my soldering iron, like so. And I just nail the ends so that there's no loose fraying parts. Place the soldering iron, and this is called tinning. I'm sure everyone has done this, but in case no one out there hasn't. There you go, I've tinned that. I never worry about flux unless it's a bit grimy. I don't see it's necessary most of the time. Does help. And flux is a chemical used for helping soldering an iron. And we just tin this one too, which is the black cable. I now then do the same on the track. So we'll move this out of the way. And the key to this is getting the track nice and hot. With this soldering iron you can do it. So I'll just rest it on there. And this is obviously heating up the track. Takes a little while, but you do want to get it hot. And we do the same on this side. So the way I always do it, the outer side of the track, so obviously this is going this way round like here, will always be the plus, the positive feed, so that's this one here. And because it's on the top layer, I'm running it like that. So all you do to join the two together is just do once again heat this up. Let it melt into the blob of solder that was there. Job done. And we get the negative feed. Just temporarily move that one out of the way. We do the same thing. We heat that up. Let it naturally heat itself up. Negative, done. And that is how I solder my bits of track. So then we'll just run that over. And that's how I do it. People do it on the joiners. I don't quite understand that method. I think it's better because this whole piece of track will now be live, and nothing will stop that. Here we go, we're now going to try and put this bit of track into the position I want it to be. So first of all, I'll put the little fishy plates on. I used to call them fish plates. I don't know what they're called now. I suppose they've got some other name, rail joiners, that's what it says on the packet. I started doing model trains when I was young. I'm 40 now. And back then they were known as fish plates. I didn't even know what DCC was and hadn't even heard of it. As a kid I remember struggling to try and understand how everything worked. But in some ways it's helped me through growing up. You know, I'm a plant fitter, mechanic by trade. That's what I do. I'm fairly good with electronics, well not electronics but electrics. I have a good idea what I'm doing and so forth. So what I'll do here, I always find it odd, someone's probably going to tell me I'm making a complete balls up with this, but there we go, that looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Just that bit there, I'd like it slightly more bent round here. So we'll now put that into, it's not that, didn't I? Now put that into place. So what I do is I use a little baby drill bit at the end of my treble. Now get my little pins. I read somewhere, someone said to me, they said that using MDF was hard because the pins didn't go in. I haven't found this, I found it quite easy. I just drop them in. They're a little bit pre-drilled. I just nudge them in with the pliers like that, and they seem fine. There we go. Let's get my little gap. Yeah. One good thing about this shed being insulated is its temperature doesn't actually change awfully much during the year. It seems to be, and obviously the temperature drops, but it's nice and steady, the temperatures in this shed. I've got the heater on at the minute, so there we go. Not happy how close it is just there. We want to try and bend that round a little bit better. Yeah, that looks all pretty nice. And I found using this foam really quite good too. Get some more pins. I'll drop them in there. as you can see on here, there you go, one bit of track laid, and then I'll simply use my little track gauge to line up the second piece, and it's as easy as that. So I hope you enjoyed watching that little tiny video I've just done. It's not much, but it gives you an idea how I work, probably in the most complicated fashion ever. Thanks for watching. Bye.